What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Commanders Guru, and today we have a new mock draft for you guys. It's a Friday, it's mock draft Friday, ladies and gentlemen. So we have a new one. Also, guys, got the face cam going. Just something I could try out. Hope it works out. A lot of things have changed. A lot of pro days have been happening. A lot of discourse has been talking. A lot of things that have been going on. So. A lot of hot takes I will admit I've seen on social media. So let's hop right into this. And also, before we actually start the mock draft, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to subscribe. It's free. You can always unsubscribe, and it'll help the channel a lot. If you love NFL content, if you love the NFL draft, make sure to subscribe. And if you love the Washington Commanders, make sure to subscribe. You won't regret it, I promise you. Starting off, first team. The Raiders' first pick, it's going to be Fernando Mendoza. I'd be really surprised if it isn't Fernando Mendoza. I think it's really easy going to be Fernando Mendoza. I don't even question. No question. If they don't take Fernando Mendoza, it's going to be the biggest draft sell of all time. Second pick, we got the New York Jets. Now, I've been Alvaro Reese for more than a month now. Consistently, people were talking about how stiff he was at his pro day. There is that concern, right? So, some people like Ruben Bain, some people even like David Bailey a little more. I do think David Bailey is a better prospect than Ruben Bain at this point in time, even though he might also be a little bit stiff as Alvaro Reese. But I'm not going to change that just yet. It's going to be Alvaro Reese right here. The Cardinals at 3. I have seen Ty Simpson go here. Will that happen? Probably not. I think still, for what it is, I still think they take Francis M. Just because he is a true right tackle. He's the best tackle in the draft, in my opinion. And, they have Paris Johnson. You pair him up with Paris Johnson, you're going to have a great tackle duo for next year's draft, which Arch Manning. Arch Manning. And also, you can get Garrett Nussmeier in day two, too. As something you can just throw in there and see how he does. And if he's a hidden gem, you got a quarterback. If not, picking top 5 next year, get Arch Manning, get someone else. Who knows? Number 4. You know what? I am not gonna go Jeremiah Love here. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I think they're gonna go with David Bailey. Yes, I think they're gonna go David Bailey here. I think that is a realistic thing that could happen. Adam Schefter does not think Jeremiah Love will go to the Titans, which I think will happen. I think at the end of the day, he might go to the Titans, but I think that they'll be like, we need an edge. So I could definitely see him going at 4-2, but I think David Bailey goes there at 4. It's the most edge is way more of a premium position, and David Bailey is the best edge in the class. If you count, Alvaro Reese is a better edge rusher if you count him, but I count him more as an off-ball linebacker. So, number 5, Jeremiah Love. I think that Cam Scadaboo, he isn't that good. He's a good power back. He's a good goal line back. He's a good player to put in there on pass downs as a pass blocker on like 3rd and long, something like that. Even though you should probably have Jeremiah Love in there. We got Jeremiah Love. He is elite. He is a blue chip player. He is probably the best player in the draft, and he will immediately give you some juice at 5 and for your offense. Browns at 6. It's either going to be Carnell Tate or Monroe Freeling here. I think it's going to be either of these two. I don't know which one it will be, though. I do think, though, a bigger need and a little more of a premium position is tackle. So I think at the end of the day, they go Monroe Freeling here. And here we go. Commanders at 7. You have Sonny Styles, you have Ruben Bain, you have Caleb Downs, you obviously have Carnell Tate. Those are delayed. So I'm gonna say this right now. The two biggest needs for the Commanders is wide receiver and cornerback. Probably center too. You know, you can. I still think safety is a little bit still questionable. Linebackers slightly still a little bit questionable, and you can fill those needs right there. Cornerback is a little bit. Even though the Commanders did sign Witherspoon, he's not that good though. I'm not gonna lie. He's 31. He is a boundary corner, and he will be a good depth guy. You can definitely get somebody in date at 71, but I feel like the wide receiver room is so bad for the Commanders. You need to go either wide receiver here or 71. So I think here it's gonna be either a DB or wide receiver. I think it's gonna be either it's either gonna be Caleb Downs, Mansard Delane, Carnell Tate. It's gonna be either of these three guys right here. Literally any of these three guys right here. If you want to get a little fucky too, I mean, if you want to get, I can also see Sonny Styles. The 4 players, I think at this point in the draft cycle, it's gonna, one of these 4 players are gonna be selected. Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Carnell Tate, and Jeremiah Love at this point. You can even say Mansard Delane, but I think they'll catch up more steam coming closer to April 22nd or 3rd, April 23rd. I'm sorry, but if those 4 players, if Sonny Styles, Jeremiah Love, Carnell Tate, and Caleb Downs aren't there at 7, I can definitely see the Commanders going either Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Ruben Bain, because one of those players will be available. One of those 7 players will guaranteed to be available, if not 2. Probably, actually, no, technically 2 will be available. And still Mansard Delane. So, there's a lot of stuff to go here, but I think at the end of the day, Caleb Downs might be just the best player here. I think Caleb Downs is in my opinion, I think he's a guarantee for an all-pro type player. I think he's the one player I can say in here, outside Jeremiah Love, I can say he's gonna be an all-pro in 2 years. I can say that. Sonny Styles is also, he has 2 missed tackles. He's also very intriguing as well. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's either going to be DB or Carnell Tate here. I think the Washington Commanders, I think they need to get better. Edward Carnell Tate has his question marks. Caleb Downs, not really. I think Caleb Downs at 7 for the Washington Commanders. Sorry, that took me so long. This is my team. It's just my team. It's just my team. I apologize. 8, we have the Saints. Now, this one is really funny. I love the Saints, by the way. I have a lot of family down in Louisiana. I love the Saints, so I want to make sure I do them well here. I think the Saints see Ruben Bain here. They're going to take him. I think that's a great selection. If I am the Saints. So, I mean, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. You care about Chase Young. I miss Chase Young, but you know, it's pretty. It's pretty cool. You know, it's pretty cool. Number 9, Chiefs. Trey McDuffie. You still have 29. Do you want to go Mansard Delane? You lost Trent McDuffie. Do you want to take the best cornerback in the draft to replace him, or do you want to take a guy like Carnell Tate here and have a fun time? Honestly, I'm gonna have some fun here. I'm gonna take Mansard Delane because I think that there'll be a good wide receiver at 29 for you. We're just revamping the entire team for the Kansas City Chiefs. 10, the Bengals. I think it's gonna be Sonny Styles. I think you put him in the middle, he will be a lethal defensive piece. You can put him at strong nickel. You can put him in the middle. You can put him. You can even have him as a off-ball linebacker. You can put him. You can make him blitz. So it gets really fun. It gets really interesting there. Another team that traded away a good player that might be of need. You know, you have Mekhi Lemon here. I think I'm gonna get really interesting here in this draft. I'm thinking the first wide receiver off the board. I'm not doing that. I can't do that. I want to get really interesting here. I want to get really interesting here. I don't know. I do not know what to do here. Actually, do you want to take Jeremy McCoy here? Do you want to take Jeremy McCoy? Do you really want to take him? I don't know. I'm gonna take Avon Terrell. I'm taking Avon Terrell at 11. Yeah. I think Avon Terrell is a player that you could definitely see taking more closer up to the top 20. So watch out for that top 12. Here is a thing. Here is a player that I think would be really cool. Keldrick Falk. The Cowboys at 12. Sorry, Cowboys. You could say he's a Shamar Stewart, right? You could say, oh, I'm a biased Commanders fan. I'm not, right? I'm not a biased Commanders fan. Here is why Keldrick Falk works for the Cowboys. You already have Donovan Esquerque, and he's a pure pass rush. He's a pass rush merchant. He's not the best at run defense, but he will eventually develop into a really good pass rusher. I think he already is a good pass rusher at this point in his career, from what I saw his rookie year. Keldrick Falk is a physical phenom. He is insane. Have you seen his attributes? Have you seen his height, his weight, his speed, his elusiveness, his bend? Have you seen that? And he is an absolute freak at run defense. He's the best run defensive player, or best run defensive edge in the class by a wide mile. And he has produced in the pass rush before. He had 9 sacks his sophomore year, and get this, he is going to be 20 when he is drafted. He is super young. He has shown flashes as a blitzer, as a pass rusher, and he's a absolute freak of a run defender. I think it's a good pick. 13, we got the Rams. Carnell Tate falls to 13. That would be wild. That would be wild, and could happen. I do see him maybe falling to 7th Commanders, 6, maybe 9, maybe 8, and maybe even 11. But I think 13 is where he falls, and that's that's where he goes. Baltimore Ravens here. A player's gonna take Jordan Dyson. I do not think that they care that much about how injured his injury history. I don't think they're gonna care that much about his injury history. He is probably he's the best pure wide receiver in the draft, in my opinion. It's just Carnell Tate's gonna go before him just because of his injury history, obviously. So that sucks a lot for Jordan Dyson, but you know what? It is what it is. He is an absolute devious separator. He gets so much separation. He's a true wide receiver 1 archetype. Lamar Jackson on the back half of his career would love to have Jordan Dyson, and I think Lamar Jackson can develop him into one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Boom. 15. Give me Kenyon Sadiq here. I don't even care anymore. Give me Kenyon Sadiq. Why Kenyon Sadiq though? He's a freak. I think he is a better tight end prospect than Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland. Tyler Warren looks like a good tight end. Colston Loveland looks like a top 5 tight end. Do I think can he be a top 5 tight end? Probably not. Do I think he's going to fall off a cliff a little bit? Yeah, I think he's going to not be as good next year. Or here's the thing with Colston Loveland. He's either going to be worse or just insanely better and be the best tight end in the NFL. Kenyon Sadiq is better than both of them. So, you know what? The Bucs get an absolute freak of a tight end and a new weapon after losing Mike Evans. So, you know what? Good pick by the Buccaneers in my opinion. This is where we're going to get interesting. Ty Simpson at 16 to the Jets. I would have taken him at 3. I I just think at 16 makes sense. People are increasingly just having him come up the board, up the board, up the board. It might be a Will Levis thing where, you know, we might think he might go top 5, top 10. He doesn't even go in the first round, and he's the first pick of day 2. Or in my opinion, I think it's going to be the Jackson. I think we're going to have a Jackson Dart type quarterback this year, and that's probably tied to Ty Simpson around the 26 range. You know, where the Brown. I think if anything, I think his floor of where he gets drafted is low-key 24. I think he goes in the first round pretty easily. He's still a good prospect. And I mean, the media is talking him up as one of, if not the best quarterback in the draft somehow. So I don't know how they're doing that, but you know what they are. They certainly are. The Lions at 17. Well, with how things are going, you're not going to take a tackle from Mama Freeland's off the board, and you have Penei Sewell. Spencer Fano is a right tackle, even though he has some experience. You know, he had some experience his freshman year as a left tackle, but he is transitioned to a right tackle. I think what they're going to do, I think they're going to take possibly the second best linebacker in the draft, Jacob Rodriguez. He is an absolute freak. He's really athletic. He can turn over the ball, and I think Jacob Rodriguez for the Lions would be a great player just to turn over the ball and everything. Yeah, kill me, Lions fans. I don't really care that much. So 18, we got. I think this is where Dylan Thieneman goes. I think the Vikings get their new white safety for the long run, for the very, very long run. When I think Mekhi Lemon goes here, I think they would love him to have you already have Tedero McMillan. He's a true wide receiver 1 archetype. He's a true wide receiver 1, and you can throw Mekhi Lemon in there as a slot wide receiver and just have a great yak ability and a good play at the catch point for your young quarterback and Bryce Young. Cowboys again at 20. I'll make it up for you. I'll give you possibly the best cornerback prospect in the draft if he has a good pro day, of course. Jeremy McCoy. I think realistically you A+ it out, and then honestly, you have a 3rd round pick. I would probably take with the 3rd round pick, probably just take a linebacker and call it a day. 21, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, they did get Michael Pittman, so I can't just take a wide receiver here. But I think they take the best guard in the draft. I think they take Vega Ione. Just get it out of the way. Take him. Have a good day. You know, just take him. Just take him. He's the best guard in the draft, and honestly, I can see him going to the Commanders at 7. I can see it. It might happen. Like, honestly, it might happen. You might hear more buzz about it coming closer towards the draft. So get ready for that, Commanders fans. And he could easily go to top 10. So steal, in my opinion, for the Steelers. 22, we got the Chargers. I think they would have loved the Vega Ione. I think they're going to have to take probably the second best guard in the draft. Emmanuel Pregnon's really good too. He's going to be a first-round pick, and it's going to be really easy. You have Joe Alt. You have Rashawn Slater. You have 2 elite tackles. If you have Tyler Biadasz, he's definitely going to be upgraded at the center position. He's all right. I'll admit he's all right. You just don't have any guards. You lost Zion Johnson. He was pretty bad, though. I'm not going to lie. He was pretty bad. Bringing Emmanuel Pregnon, a really good guard, a better prospect than Zion Johnson. Get that guy in there. You will not regret it. Also, Vega Ione stays in Pennsylvania, and Emmanuel Pregnon stays on the West Coast. I think it's a great outcome for both parties. Eagles at 23. How about you take the absolute demon of Emmanuel McNeil Warren. You took one. You took a Toledo guy, and Quinion Mitchell worked out. You lost Reed Blankenship. He was bad though. Take the better safety. Take the third best safety prospect in the draft, who is really athletic and from Toledo. It just makes a lot of sense in my opinion. Still gonna have to fight for the edge room though, because that edge room is fucking horrendous, and you still might lose AJ Brown. I'm telling you, the downfall of the Eagles might not win 9 games this year. I'm telling you. Still though, at the end of the day, a good pick. 24 for the Browns. You got Monroe Freeland. Why not just go for a wide receiver here to add more weapons for your next quarterback? So I think it's a good selection there. I think, you know what? I don't really care that much. Peter Woods goes to 25. I think that's a dream pick. I think that's a dream pick for the Bears. And how it's looking might happen. Even though Peter Woods is still a player that I think could easily go top 10. He could easily go top 15, 16. Bears came at 25. That's a steal of a pick. And, I mean, the rich get richer, right? The rich get richer. 26, the Buffalo Bills. This one gets interesting. But I think C.J. Allen is pretty obvious here. Just bump up on that defense, you know. And I think C.J. Allen works well. You know, Milano is really old. He's not that good anymore. And C.J. Allen works a lot. He works. 27, we got the 49ers here. I think this is where Spencer Fano goes. If you keep Trent Williams, you can put him at right tackle, and you'll have two good tackle players. And if you don't like Spencer Fano at right tackle, you can put him inside that guard. He worked as a center at the combine, so you can put him as a guard too. There's a lot of things you can do with Spencer Fano. I think that's a steal of a pick if I'm the 49ers. 28, we got the Texans. Still, I do not trust anything about that interior offensive line. Sadly, Emmanuel Pregnon is off the board, and Spencer Fano, another guard prospect that you can throw into guard, is now off the board. So now it gets kind of stupid. It gets pretty bad. You need to add. So I think this is going to be a pretty reach. You're going to take Chase Bizantis, Texas A&M. You know, you have to do it. You literally just have to take Chase just because you need a good guard. You need a guard, and you reach for a guard there. 29. You took Master Lane. I told you that there will be a good wide receiver prospect on the board. I think you get the best wide receiver, a possible top 3 wide receiver prospect in the draft. Definitely top 5 might have been Chris Bell from Louisville. He is an absolute freak. He possibly could have been the best wide receiver in the draft if he didn't tear his ACL. And I think, again, the rich get richer. You bring in, you know, as the Chiefs, you bring in a bigger cornerback. You bring in a bigger cornerback than Trent McDuffie. And then at wide receiver, you bring in a true wide receiver 1 type archetype wide receiver who is an absolute beast and would be a steal for any team. Past, I think, pick 20. I can see him go to 21. I can see him going at 24. I can see him going at 27 even. I can see him going at maybe even 22. But I don't know. It's a good pick. And then again, another wide receiver goes off the board here. I'm sorry. You need to get wide receivers here, and I think Casey Concepcion makes a lot of sense. He will get. I'm not taking Denzel Boston. Denzel Boston is a pure red zone threat type wide receiver. He cannot get separation, and you know, he does what you need him to do, right? He does what you need him to do. 31. I think the Patriots need almost everything else at a quarterback. This is more of a, like, I hope you get A.J. Brown. I'm going to give you guys Lee Hunter, who is maybe the best interior defensive lineman in the draft. So you take him at 31. He's a good explosive player on an elite Texas Tech defense. He's kind of old. He's 23. He'll probably be 24 by the time the season starts, but he's a good player. And I've seen worse. And then probably one of the biggest steals of the draft, I think the Seahawks get richer and take TJ Parker. I'm going to explain TJ Parker in a little bit more before we end the video. Why TJ Parker? TJ Parker should have been a top 10 pick this year, if not top 5. He said just a bad junior year. Underwhelming junior. I apologize. That's better. He's still super explosive. He's still good at pass rush. He can still power rush if he needs to. He has good finesse moves. He does what you need, and he's super explosive, and he is young. Rich get richer. I think TJ Parker can go at any point past 16. So let's recap. Number 1, we have the Raiders take Fernando Mendoza, obviously. Jets take Arthur Reese. Francis M goes 3. David Bailey goes 4. Jeremiah Love goes 5th. Monroe Freeland goes 6th. Caleb Downs goes 7th. Ruben Bain goes 8th. Mansur Lane goes 9th. Sonny Styles goes 10th. Avion Terrell goes 11th. Kendrick Folk goes 12th. Colonel Tate goes 13th. Jordan Tyson goes 14th. Kenyon Sadiq goes 15th. Ty Simpson goes 16th. Chico Rodriguez goes 17th. Dalen Thieneman goes 18th. Kyle Lemon goes 19th. Jeremy McCoy goes 20th. Vega Ion goes 21st. Emmanuel Pregman goes 22nd. Emmanuel McNair-Warren goes to 23rd. Omar Cooper Jr. goes 24th. Peter Woods goes 25th. CJ Allen goes 26th. Spencer Fano goes 27th. Chase Bisontis goes 28th. Chris Bell goes 29th. Casey Concepcion goes 30th. Lee Hunter goes 31st. And TJ Parker goes 32nd. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share if you made it to this point. Please subscribe. I love talking about the NFL. And if you love NFL draft, Commanders content, make sure to subscribe. It's free. It's literally a win-win situation for both of us. Don't worry, I love making content, and I try my absolute best. So thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. And as always, make sure to eat some good food.